Good afternoon or midday. It's a little bit after 1 o'clock. I have spent my morning up until probably about 11:30 trying to get that shed together. Not easy by myself, but I found ways to do it. I pretty much got all the little things put together and then started building the walls when I started getting a little too hot. So I came in, I rested for a little while, made food, and then went and sat down and talked with Jerry. And Jerry was like, "So what are you going to do the rest of the day?" And I knew what was going to happen if I didn't say the right things. But I kind of looked at her and said, "Well, right now I want to cool down, rest and relax for a little bit because I'm hurting. My right shoulder blade, arm area, shoulder area, however you want to put it, is a little tight and sore. And I think part of it is I slept wrong. I knew I slept wrong because the whole shoulder area was hurting. But as the day progressed, the shoulder area here in the front was fine, but it's like the back, the shoulder blade area is hurting. So I don't know what else I can do later on this afternoon within, well, probably about 2 o'clock. And I said if I feel like it, I'm going to come in, I'm going to do some work around the bedroom because we have some minor changes to do. I have to finish up with the, cabling to keep the electrical cabling running the way I want to, so it's not just draped across the floor. So I have to finish that up. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that because I'm starting to feel certain pains that warn me about stress and high blood pressure, like the right bicep area will start to feel pinched and painful if my blood pressure is going up. So I have to monitor that, which I'm highly worried. I'm extremely worried about because now I don't know what the medical community would say about that, other than the factor of stress and something I have to watch out about because the doctor already told me about that. And I'm like, well, what do I do when that starts happening? And basically the only thing everybody's been able to say to me is calm down, breathe, let the stress go away. And I'm like, yes, I know some of the stress is self-induced because I'm like, oh man, am I overdoing it? Am I letting myself stay outside too long, getting too hot? And the results is, even though that I've cooled off and relaxed a little bit, I still have that heat stress or whatever it's called. And I know a lot of people say watch out for that because if you do have heart problems or high blood pressure problems, that could be a killer. And I'm like, great, because there's no place I can think of to live that's not going to have some sort of heat factor nowadays, unless I'm living in like Alaska, and even Alaska's been having heat waves. Because even in the high mountains like Montana and whatnot, you still get up there in the 90s and whatnot. It might not feel like the 90s because you've got that mountain breeze, unless it's just way too hot. And, for somebody like me with all my stressors or anxiety issues or whatnot, I can never tell what's going to stress me out or cause me to have an anxiety issue. So I'm just kind of like, okay, I've got to learn how to relax and take it easy. So, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. not always successful at it because of one thing or another, and being hyperactive ADHD with anxiety issues, it's kind of hard for me to deal with sometimes. Like right now, I feel very fidgety, and I don't know if that's my nerves or what, but I just feel very fidgety. And that's one of the reasons why the doctor is not like, if you have that pain again, go rushing to the hospital type thing. They're just like, we can tell it's not something that's basically currently not a high level risk or problem, because you're still mobile and fidgety and whatnot, and you're not like suffering from paralytic pain where it's going to cause you to stop breathing or cause your heart to skip a beat or something like that. So that's one of the reasons why I have anxiety medication and not really. No, I don't know if it's a blood related medication or what, but I've got. I should go get my list of medications, but I've got a list of medications that I take, everything from over the counter to prescription stuff, and I know I've got an allergy medicine. I now have a stress related medicine. I have a cholesterol related medicine. Those are prescription, just right off the top of my head. But anyhow, I want to read a little bit of American Cozy this morning, or this afternoon, because I just read something that made a whole lot of sense of why I can't do what other people around me can do. But now, just the first paragraph alone made me go, what? But anyhow, it says, it is impossible to have a comfortable life if your days are cluttered with too many tasks, too much busy work, and excessive screen time. In other words, excessive TV or computer time. These time fillers can clutter your days and leave you feeling rushed, anxious, brain dead, and numb. Not a cozy way to approach life. And then she goes to talk about how today most people thrive, or many of us thrive on the go, constantly, rushing around type of day, but it's not good for us. Let's see here. What else did I underline? There's this whole other section that I got to that was like talking about our parents, or back in the day of our parents or grandparents even, where they left work, they come home, or they just stay at home. Leisure time was post dinner television or sitting on the porch with neighbors, doing nothing but talking. No phones, no TV, no laptops. Nothing to pull our attention away from our conversations. Which, yeah, I agree a lot of times with our modern day rush. We've got laptops, we got TV screens, we got smartphones, we got all the different technologies that can distract us from just a simple conversation with friends and family. For instance, I have a friend who has a late teens, early 20s daughter who her face is literally in her phone all the time. Literally all the time. And I'm kind of like, well, she's bored. She's looking for something to do. She's talking with her friends. They don't want to hang out together because of they don't want to wear masks or just the way Texas can be. I probably just gave away the person, but oh well. But that could be anywhere. That could be any teenage boy or girl who is just like sitting around the home, you know, head down like this and fiddle farting with her phone or handheld game system or whatever. It's a major distraction, and it's a major time suck, as well as anti-productive, unless your job or your livelihood is connected to that device. Then she goes to say there is an addictive rush of adrenaline that comes with being overextended. For some, it might be a rush. For me, it's more like an anxiety-ridden coaster ride. Don't like it. I don't like that feeling. However, research has shown that many humans multitasking, such as finishing a work project while sending email or cooking dinner while texting, we get less work done. Which I agree. I found that if I'm spending too much time fooling around on my phone instead of getting something I needed to get done, it takes way too much. It takes longer to get the task done if I was not on the phone or fooling around with my phone or being distracted by one thing or another. She goes to say after that, work more slowly and perform at a lower level than when we... Work more slowly and perform at a lower level than we simply focus on a single project. So basically saying, if we're not focusing on a single project at a time, and we're trying to multitask, we work slower, we work less efficiently. It's kind of crazy. And then she states, the bottom line is that stuffing our day with activities and then layering constant email, texting, calling, and web surfing on top of those undertakings can leave us feeling temporarily accomplished in the short run. What being overextended does over time is not so enjoyable, however, and can directly affect our ability to create and enjoy a calm, centered life. I think that's true. I think the more we try to stuff in a day, the more we try to cram in a day to get stuff done, and I've noticed it with some of my my own scheduling. By the end of the day, I just feel so worn out. And if I did accomplish anything, I'm like, oh yeah, that was great. I finished that. But in the meantime, with all the other stuff that I was trying to do on top of my main project, I kind of go, ugh, I still have to finish that. I haven't finished that project. Like the shed. Well, the shed it's a project, and I understand why I haven't finished it. It's because it just, there's a lot of little things to do to start the main build, and it gets really hot really early. And maybe tomorrow, since I'm waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning, instead of coming in here fiddle farting around in here, I should just go straight to work and hopefully bust out the rest of it before it gets too hot. Because I really want it done before Sunday, so I can spend Sunday just relaxing and getting my mind and body prepared for Monday. Because I did have a nice little conversation with one of my supervisors, and they said, okay, can you come in until, from 6 to 11? I'm like, yeah, as long as I'm out of there by 11, so I can, do the work thing. And she's like, after that, you can, you'll be back to your regular schedule. And, yep, I don't have nothing else that I know about until September. And she goes, you can fill out a time request form for that. And I'm like, okay. And I'm not going to ask for the full day, since that September is a follow-up and it's at 2 o'clock, which means if I get out of there by 1:30, I might not even come home to get dressed. I might just go straight up to the doctor's. But I'm trying to work with them and hoping that they'll be understanding, which they seem to be. But anyhow, let's get back to this. Now she puts in a little separate box. Could your phone be a problem? Could your phone responsible? She didn't. Okay, she. Let me read it the way I think it should be read. Could your phone be responsible for the lack of time in your day? Check out these statistics regarding just how often we focus on the phone on our screens. According to this, there was 15,000 people that were studied in a New York-based app marketer called Locket, and they said on the average person, or the average person, unlocked his or her phone 110 times a day. Okay. Then there was a study done in 2013 that shows that people actually open their phones 150 times per day. The same people who did the 2013 report, 3 years after that, in 2017, they say 3 years, but it says Internet Trends of 2017, report found that people spent an average of 3.1 hours accessing the internet from their phone. This does not include texting, emailing, making videos, or voice calls, or basically phone calls. Just 3.1 hours just looking at the internet. Not doing texting, not doing emails, not creating videos, not making phone calls. It's just looking at their phone, playing around on their phone. In 2015, survey of 2,000 people by tech protective company, gives a name, found that 1 out of 10 people check their phones on an average of every 4 minutes, and the majority cannot go more than 10 minutes without sneaking a peek at their phone. So on the average, most people check their phone every 10 minutes. I guess I'm below average because when I'm working on a project or doing something other than this, or answering phone calls or text messages between me and Jerry, or me and a number of other people I have contact with, I think I can probably go maybe 20 to 30 minutes, if not an hour, without checking my phone, depending on what I'm doing. But to realize that the average, and these are probably young adults, like late teens, 20s, maybe into the 30s, on the average, check their phone every 10 minutes. So within an hour, so 6 times within an hour that they're checking their phone. 6 times within an hour. And that's not including the duration of time they spend on their phone after checking it. So maybe they check it 10 minutes and they spend 5 to 10 minutes on the phone doing whatever. So that's 20 minutes of phone time or screen time during your day, when you can probably be doing a whole lot of other things besides goofing off on your phone. Cleaning up your house, cleaning up your room if you're a teenager, yard work, projects that need to be done around the house. And that's on your off days. Now, I've read the company policy for where I'm going to be working. Basically, we're not supposed to have our phones on, let alone on our person at work. So it's either A, my phone is going to have to be off, and maybe in my pocket, or put someplace out of sight, out of mind. The company also suggests not wearing watches or anything that could get broken, damaged, or caught on equipment. Because God forbid, if I'm frying something up and my arm happens to be that close and the hot fry basket gets caught on my watch and ends up burning me. Yeah. I also know that jewelry is supposed to be kept to a minimum. No earrings. You can keep your wedding band on. Necklaces have to be under the shirt. But they highly suggest not to have a necklace on, in case it does come out, which I've never had that problem, but still. A lot of, I'm going over company policies to make sure I stay in the green. Anyhow, then, yeah, I'll finish up it real quick. I'm just going to mark this spot because I'll read it tomorrow. But the next spot I'm going to read is called The Power of Singular Tasking and Simple Living. And just to give you a brief, without going through it all, she talks about the benefits of doing one thing at a time compared to trying to multitask. She says that there are certain kinds of multitasking while trying to focus on one thing that is okay, like maybe answering a quick phone call while you're loading up laundry, or if you're cooking and you're reading a recipe off your phone, that's okay. But try to keep it to a minimum, like answering a phone call or making a phone call to your husband, wife, parent, whatever, depending on your living situation. But she says not to, basically what I read was to not try to stretch yourself out trying to do 3 or 4 things at once. Try to keep it to a minimum of one thing, maybe a secondary thing if it's quick and does not distract you from your main task. So like, I was outside trying to get the shed figured out and my music was starting to be a distraction, so I had to turn that off. So basically, if you're trying to focus on a project and there is something background-wise that is a distraction, try to turn it off, remove the distraction, ask the distractors to vacate the premises unless they're going to help out. And if they're going to help out, not to be distracted themselves, because you need them to focus on what you need them to focus on. And if they can't focus on it, what's the purpose of having there? But yeah, it's just those kind of things that sometimes you need to remove the distraction. Anywho, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to make this my video of the day. So, hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put them in the question comment box. If you're new to my channel and you liked what you heard and maybe you want to hear more, even though I'm getting close to the end of the American Cozy book, maybe you want to go back and try to find all the videos on American Cozy and watch those. And if you have watched those, maybe this particular one is the one that's going to help you make the decision to join. I'm not asking you to, I'm not forcing you to join. I'm just saying if you want to join, you can join. I want you to join and hit the subscribe button. A little bell will pop up. You click on that bell and my next video will come up. Or YouTube will let you know when my next video comes up. I'm sorry. I'm a little distracted in my head. So, yeah, I just got done talking about not being distracted, and here I am getting distracted. Anywho, hope you guys have a good day. Enjoy. God bless. Bye.